Hello everyone, welcome back to Global TC. We are here in Belgium for our 8th event of the season, here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for what will hopefully be a very exciting day of action. This season so far has been remarkably close in the championship fight, and there's no reason to suggest that it will not stay that way after today's event. However, rain is falling at the moment over the circuit, and whilst it is not too heavy, we expect everyone to be starting race 1 on the intermediate tyres. Well, that is those, of course, who are on tyres that are weather specific. Those that are on the softs will be on inters. However, the medium and hard tyres, of course, as you may remember from the Nürburgring event, are all weather tyres. So that could play a big factor in our first event of the day here. If it stays wet, the intermediate tyres will be just as good as the soft tyres are at any other event. But if we do have changeable conditions, the intermediate drivers may have to do a pit stop to switch on to the dry compound, whereas those on the all-weather tyres obviously will not have to, meaning just like at the Nordschleife, we could see a situation where the medium and hard tyres actually end up being better than the soft tyre, which is, well, always assumed to be the by far superior tyre in pretty much all conditions, with, of course, this as the only exception. So we're all ready now to make our way down to the grid and see how they line up for the first race today. All the way at the back of the field, one of our winners last time out in Barcelona, it is Lewis Francis who starts race 1 on the hard compound tyres. We have Liam Jones just ahead of him on the medium compound tyres. Next up is the two Toyotas of Tyler Davison on the hard, and then Kieran Kevern on the medium compound tyres, with Scott Sandover second place in race 1 last time out on hards, alongside Albert Asante also on the hard tyres. Now we have soft runners in the form of Ben Driscoll and Preston Brennan there, with Dylan Varstenberg just ahead of them on mediums. The same goes for Adrian Tishy and Adam Richardson, all of them free on the medium compound tyre. Next up is Matt Pulio, top driver on the hard tyres for this race. Ahead of him then we see a lot of soft runners. It's Carlo Durante on the softs. So is Adam Liu, Vishay Shah and Daniel Solon, who lines up in 4th position. As we see, the top 3 on the grid is Jordan Fingal on the medium tyres, the same goes for Jonathan Mills in 2nd, and on pole position, just like last week's racing, it is Andre de Mille on pole on soft compound tyres. Let's get racing then, shall we? The cars are ready then, and we are racing in Belgium, and it's a flying launch from the Brazilian on pole position. Andre de Mille and his Alfa Romeo will lead us down towards turn 1 as Vishay Shah's made a good start. He's looking for second place as they head into the first turn for the first time here today. Vishay Shah and Andre de Mille on those soft compound tyres trying to break away earlier there. See a few cars going wide at the first corner as they make their way down towards Rouge and Radion for the first time here today. Carlo in 3rd behind him, Jordan Fingal dropping back from 3rd position on the grid. Jonathan Mills dropping further back as well. He is behind Jordan after starting 2nd place on the front row as we see them making their way up through Radion now, up the hill and down the Kemmel Straight for the first time here today. The pack filing their way through. You can see lots of battles throughout the field here. We see there that's Daniel Solon having a look at a move on Jonathan Mills. As you can see there, the wet conditions meaning that these drivers are having to be a little bit careful on these opening laps, especially. The windscreen wipers all ablaze still, so it is still raining out there as they break into the Les Combes chicane for the first time, and Jonathan Mills with a big send there. He's going for the move on Jordan Fingal as they head through the next couple of corners. Jonathan Mills all the way around the outside. Can he pull that move off? The Honda has been in good form lately, but so has the BMW. Jordan Fingal fighting back around the outside, trying to keep himself in the mix there. That's a massive moment for Liam Jones in the background. Looks like he may have just about held it, and indeed he has. But that has cost him some time down in 18th place. Started there and so far not making any progress, and that massive moment will not have helped. As we now see there, that is Adam Liu just ahead of Jonathan Mills. Jordan Fingal there coming under pressure from Daniel Solon as they make their way down towards Pouon for the first time here today. You see lots of cars squirming around as they come down the hill. These conditions are very tricky for all of the drivers. Matt Pulio there on the back of Adam Richardson looking to try and make something happen here. Can he get into the inside of Pouon? Richardson goes a little bit wide. That's going to offer an opportunity there for Pulio on those hard compound tyres. Richardson on the mediums. A small mistake there from Richardson, though, is going to be costly as he loses that position to the American driver as they head towards the final sector for the first lap here. And you see Jonathan Mills feeling big pressure from Daniel Solon here. Solon is on the intermediate tyre, so the softest compound of tyre here. For the sake of today, we will call them the soft tyre still, but of course it is the soft wet weather tyre as opposed to the all-weather tyre that the other drivers are on. As we look through the field there, we see a group of Toyotas here battling with each other, as all the way at the back still we see Liam Jones and Lewis Francis started at the back and have stayed there so far. Liam Jones on those mediums would have hoped to make a few positions off the start, but not quite able to do it just yet here, as we see them making their way up towards Blanchimont here. And up at the front, it is Andre Jamil, who continues to lead the race here. Vishay Shah is right behind him, but even closer to Vishay Shah than Vishay Shah is to Jamil is Carlo Durante, as he's looking to the inside here, as they head into the bus stop chicane here. And look at that dive from the Alfa Romeo, and Alfa Romeo have been in very good form recently. Impeccable, really. And well, look at that, up into second position now. And Carlo Durante's next aim will be his teammate, who currently leads this race. Durante into second, Shah dropping back into third place, the Mercedes. Whilst the Alfa Romeo has been in good form, the Mercedes has been in less good form recently. Its race pace being a big problem, despite it recently qualifying quite well in multiple events. As we now see there, the other Mercedes of Preston Brennan looking to try and make a move here. Brennan is on the soft tyre. He's going down the inside of Jordan Fingal, braking as late as he can, not quite able to get it done on the apex, but can he get the traction? The four-wheel drive Mercedes should get better drive off the corner, especially considering he's got a compound advantage there as they head down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Further back in the pack, we can see even more battling as they head down the hill, and there we see Kieran Kevern battling away in a bit of a train of Toyotas. He's got his teammate Albert Asante right behind him here as they head up the hill. Asante is on hard compound tyres, Kieran Kevern is on the medium tyres, so Kevern should have a grip advantage here, but Asante's looking pretty good so far. Of course, one of the top drivers in the championship coming into this event. As we look at towards the front, we see that is Daniel Solon looking to try and make a move on Jonathan Mills as they head towards the Lecombe chicane. Daniel Solon not quite able to pull it off just yet. Mills trying to hold on as best he can here, but the Mitsubishi has a tyre advantage at this stage, but Ben Driscoll also has a tyre advantage, and he's trying to put some pressure on as well here as they make their way down on the hill. You can see now Ben Driscoll actually feeling some pressure from his teammate Jordan Fingal. The BMW drivers are going to go side by side through Pouon here. Fingal is on the medium tyres compared to Driscoll's softs here, but these soft tyres, with the track drying as it seems to be at the moment with the rain stopping, it would appear that those soft tyres are already falling off a cliff, and you can see several drivers like Preston Brennan that we're looking at now who are on those softer compound tyres already dropping off. And those wet weather soft tyres are not holding up as they needed to. As soon as the track is dried, these tyres are really going away. And, well, it's certainly drying, but I wouldn't say it's dry enough for slick tyres yet either. So this is a horrible situation for those on the intermediate tyre. They really are in trouble here, as Andre Jamil, Carlo Durante and Vishay Shah, the top three in this race, are all on that soft compound tyre, and they could find themselves under real pressure soon. As we see Albert Asante now on the back of Ben Driscoll. Ben Driscoll, the championship leader coming into this event. Albert Asante third in the championship, trying to get crucial points over one of his championship rivals here. As he charges towards Blanchimont, looking to try and make the move there. Bit of an overlap, we can see that is Dylan Varstenberg getting down the inside of Ben Driscoll there. As Varstenberg ahead of the BMW, that's going to give the Toyota another chance here as they head towards the final chicane. There's cars in the pit lane, and it's the leaders. Andre Jamil is in the pit lane, Carlo Durante and Vishay Shah, all of them into the pit lane there. Jonathan Mills stays out on his medium compound tyres and is going to take the lead of this race here. The soft tyre runners on those intermediate compounds are not holding up in these conditions. Worst case scenario for those drivers, they needed it to stay wet or go very quickly to fully dry conditions. Alas, it's been neither of those. We've still got a very greasy track, but it's not ready for slicks yet. So these all-weather tyres that are on the medium and hard tyre drivers is really proving crucial at this point in the race. As we see Jamil, Durante, Shah, just a few of the drivers here, and they're going to come out of the pit lane all the way at the back of the pack now. And of course they've had to go back to another set of inters. None of them have taken a risk on slicks. They're going back onto another set of inters, which surely will only last another 2 laps here, meaning they'll probably have to pit again. This is a nightmare situation for these drivers. We'll have to wait and see what they do. Does any of them take a risk on softs? They just have to hope the track dries up quick enough here. As Andre Jamil now in 11th position, because there's so many on the soft tyre, there is still points available for these drivers, but not the amount that they were hoping for. As we look further down the field, we have had an incident here, and we are on board with one of the Toyotas. They head towards turn 1. It's Liam Jones, I believe, just ahead of them there as they break into the first corner, and the Toyota braking too late into the back there of Liam Jones. Forgive me, I'm not sure if that's Adrian Tishy or Tyler Davison we're on board with there, one of the white Toyotas. Those two very, near identical liveries there. As we look back towards the front here, we've got a battle for the lead. Jonathan Mills may have had a big lead when those leaders pit, but now he finds himself with Jordan Fingal, who has reeled him all the way in and is on his rear bumper as they head towards Blanchimont here. And this is critical with just a lap to go after this one. Jordan Fingal looks and sees a potential victory on the cards here. Kieran Kevern, who has charged his way through the field all the way from 16th on the grid up into 3rd place. If he can get in the mix here as well, that would be remarkable, as Jordan Fingal is looking for a move on Mills. Mills brakes later as they go into the chicane, but Mills has gone very wide there. That's going to be leaving very vulnerable on exit, and Fingal's going to take advantage. He powers past him on corner exit. Brilliant move from Jordan Fingal. He's going to power his way into the lead of this race. BMW lead here, and takes the fastest lap as he does so. Now, as they head into the final lap, it is Jordan Fingal out front, ahead of Jonathan Mills and Kieran Kevern in 3rd position, as we see Andre Jamil only down in 11th place, but has come into the pits again. They have gone on to soft tyres, so they think they have got enough for slick tyres now, I should say. Slick tyres for those drivers on the soft compound tyres. They've all had to pit for a 2nd time in this race, which means they're way back from the pack, but now should be lapping considerably faster than those on the medium and hard tyres, as we see lots of these guys battling within themselves. They see Carlo just ahead of Jones, and then it's Davison, Shah, Liu side by side as they head down towards the 1st corner. Davison in that mix would lead me to believe that it was Davison who had the incident earlier on in the race that we saw from his onboard, it seems, not Adrian Tishy, so I apologise to him. As we now see as they make their way through Blanchimont for the final time today, Jordan Fingal is looking for his 2nd win of the season. Whilst his teammate leads the championship coming into this event, Jordan Fingal, the pressure was on. He was underperforming relative to that teammate. Ben Driscoll has been lead BMW so far this season, but Jordan Fingal, as he comes through the final chicane for the final time here, he's gonna be the one that takes victory in Belgium. Race 1, race win. It goes to the American Jordan Fingal across the line first. 2nd place there. Incredible. 16th to 2nd. Kieran Kevern with Jonathan Mills in 3rd. Ahead of Adam Richardson and Dylan Varstenberg. Albert Asante comes across the line in 6th place. Good for his championship as Matt Pulio 7th. Scott Sandover in 8th. Adrian Tishy in 9th position. As now we look back here, we've got a battle. Lewis Francis versus Andre Jamil here. Drivers who are on the... Jamil on the soft tyres, now slicks, compared to Lewis Francis on the hard all-weather tyres. Andre Jamil gets that 10th place away from the Subaru driver, who started at the very back, but finishes 11th. He'll be quite happy with that, all things considered, ahead of Durante Shah, Adam Liu, and taking the final point from race 1 is going to be Liam Jones after starting at the very back. So here we have our official results for the first race here in Spa, and it is Jordan Fingal who takes victory for BMW ahead of Kieran Kevern and Jonathan Mills. Adam Richardson in 4th place ahead of Dylan Varstenberg and Albert Asante. Really crucial points for Albert Asante's championship fight. Matt Pulio, also solid points for him on those hard tyres. Real good opportunity for those that have gone with hards for race 1 to get points, otherwise they would have left on the table there. Scott Sandover coming home in 8th place in race 1. Just outside the top 8 is Adrian Tishy with Andre Jamil, the top driver on soft compound tyres, with 2 pit stops in that race, comes home 10th, just ahead of Lewis Francis, and it is Carlo Durante in 12th place, ahead of Vishay Shah, who also looked like a front runner early in this race before the weather changed, and Adam Liu and Liam Jones rounding out the points paying positions. Just outside the points we had Daniel Solan, Tyler Davison, Ben Driscoll and Preston Brennan takes home the last position in race 1, not what they would have wanted. So now we can look at the grid for race 2 in much sunnier conditions than we saw for the start of race 1. It's Preston Brennan at the back on the medium compound tyres, with Ben Driscoll just ahead of him on the hard tyres. Tyler Davison is on the softs for this race, as then we see that is Daniel Solan on the medium tyres, just behind his teammate at Mitsubishi, Liam Jones, Adam Liu and Vishay Shah there, all drivers who took soft tyres for race 1. Then we see Carlo Durante and Lewis Francis on the medium tyres. Next up is Andre Jamil, who started on pole position for race 1 on medium tyres. Then it is Adrian Tishy on the hard tyre, Scott Sandover and Matt Pulio just ahead of him, as we then see Albert Asante with Dylan Varstenberg just ahead of him. At the front, Adam Richardson is on soft tyres for this race, as is Jonathan Mills. With in front of them we see Kieran Kevern, who is on the hards for this race, and on pole position race 1 winner Jordan Fingal is on the hards as well for race 2 here today in Spa. And we are racing for race 2 in Belgium, and it's a flying start from Jordan Fingal, pole position. He's going to lead us towards turn 1. Kieran Kevan fighting to hold on to that second position as they dive into the brakes. That's a massive send from Dylan Varstenberg, who is on soft tyres for race 2 here. See, that's Adam Richardson going very wide there at turn 1. Looks like he's kept control of his car, though, as they head back down towards Eau Rouge and Radion there, as Varstenberg right up behind the race leaders. Jonathan Mills getting pinned in a bit between Adam Richardson and Kieran Kevan as they head up for Eau Rouge side by side. Jonathan Mills fighting back is going to get Kieran Kevan as they come to the top of the hill there. He gets the move done as they head down the Kemmel Straight here for the first time in race 2. Much sunnier skies above the racetrack now. That'll be a relief to those that have chosen the soft tyres for this race, as we see one of those at the very front, Dylan Varstenberg, pressuring Jordan Fingal for the lead as they head down towards the Lacombe chicane for the first time here today. It is Varstenberg down the inside, and Jordan Fingal is going to lose the lead of the race. Jonathan Mills is in third place. Now, Fingal and Mills battled it out in race 1. They could well do the same here in race 2, but this time with the massive tyre advantage going to Jonathan Mills on those softs compared to Fingal's hards. As we look through the field, we can see there Toyotas, as always, seemingly near each other on the racetrack. Davison just behind Tishy there as they head down a hill steeply. And you can see that's a bit of a look for a move from Carlo Durante in the Alfa Romeo. Davison trying to make a way past his teammate. He is on soft tyres compared to Tishy, who is on the hard compound tyre. So in theory, Davison, big tyre advantage. He should get the move done here as we see towards the front, side-by-side racing. Jonathan Mills is looking to try and take second position here as they head into Pouhon. Diving down the inside, the Honda, with those much faster tyres, gets up into second position. As Fingal will have to look in his mirrors now at Scott Sandover, a driver who has a bit of a reputation for finishing second so far in his racing career. He now makes the move to get up into third place, and he of course is on the soft tyres. You can probably tell that by the way how the speed his car is going at. He's up into third position. Richardson also on the softs, making his way past Fingal here, as Fingal dropping back a little bit as Pulio just behind him now on mediums. Kevin, you can see on a hard tyres, holding up his teammate Tyler Davison. As so often we see the Toyotas and Alfa Romeos finding their teammates out on the racetrack. Of course, it helps there's so many of them, but still it seems like it happens an unnatural amount sometimes, as we see them making their way back down towards the final sector of the lap. Vishay Shah at the back of the field, 14th at the moment. It's not been his day so far, or his season. Comes into this event at the very bottom of the championship. As you see behind him there, you see Daniel Tyler, Preston Bretton, a lot of drivers who really were hoping and needing a good result in race 1, and it just has not happened for them. They find themselves right at the back of the pack, struggling to try and get anything out of this event. Points may well be hard to get in this one for a lot of these drivers, of course. Last time out, when we saw a situation like race 1, where we have wet to dry, or at least changeable conditions, Adam Lee, who at the time was the championship leader, went pointless for all 3 races in an event. Now, I think it's unlikely that'll happen here, especially considering some of those on the softs race 1 did make their way back into the points. It is crucial for the championship there, as we see Liam Jones is pulling into the pit lane. He was second in the championship coming into this event, and crucially, this is not what he wanted to see, as that is a couple other drivers coming to the pits there. Looks like Richardson's in as well. Kevin is in as well. Richardson is the most crucial of all of those on soft tyres, and he had damage on his soft tyres last event, and he's going to have it again here in race 2. Nightmare scenario for these guys, as up at the front it is still Dylan Varstenberg, who leads the race for Alfa Romeo, as you now see on board with the VW of Adam Richardson off the start. The front-wheel drive cars always struggle a little bit off the launch there, as you see them diving into the first turn. Mills on the inside, Kevin just ahead now. Kevin and Richardson collide there, and it wasn't the biggest of hits, but that has caused damage to both cars, and you see Richardson going a bit wide there. That's what's caused those 2 drivers to come into the pit lane. We'll have to see and wait and see what has happened to the other drivers there, as we now look on board with Liam Jones here of the start. Let's see what has he had happen to him there, as Shah is just ahead of him. Then it's Francis just further up ahead of him. So you'd imagine we're going to see a similar stack-up situation on the brakes into turn 1. Jones a little bit deep, and look at the accordion there, and that Toyota just had them all. Could well have been caught up in it too. I didn't see exactly if they came to the pits or not, as we do see Toyotas battling it out. It's Davison versus Asante. Asante is on the medium compound tyres. Davison on the softs should have an advantage here. But of course, when you're battling with a driver in the same car as you, it's very hard to out-drag them down the straight there. You have to make a move like that. You have to do them in the brakes, and that's exactly what Davison's done there, sweeping around the outside of his teammate and up into 6th position. Next up on the road will be Matt Pulio and then Jordan Fingal, 2 drivers from America that aren't on soft tyres for this race, as we now look back at Tyler Davison, trying to make his continued charge through the field. Just ahead of him, Matt Pulio, holding him up just a little bit as around the outside. Davison, can he pull the move off? He goes a little bit wide there, a bit cheeky, but he gets the move done, and now we'll have a great slipstream on Jordan Fingal to head down the straight. The BMW, not the best, but not the worst car on the straight, so the Toyota of Davison should have a fair chance as they head towards the Les Combes chicane, as they go through Eau Rouge and Radion now. You can see Davison right on the back of the BMW ahead of him as we look back towards the front. Scott Sandover hunting down Jonathan Mills for that second position. He's very close. We've also got a very close battle here for this fourth position. Jordan Fingal is trying to hold on there. You see him move a little bit to the middle of the road, just defend his position as much as he can here, but on these hard tyres he knows it's probably an inevitability that he will lose this position as they head into the chicane here. When will Davison go for it? He's not going to dive down to the inside. Let's see what he's planning here. He's just going to try and drive around the outside, catch Jordan off guard, and there you see Fingal not able to really fight back in that situation. Davison up into fourth position in this race. A very important move here as he now only has soft tyre runners ahead of him. So that's looking like a very solid result for Davison. If he can cling on to that one as up ahead, we now see Scott Sandover. We said he was all over the back of Mills just a lap ago, and now he is continuing to pressure the Honda driver. Alfa Romeo versus Honda. It's been a frequent sight at the front of these fields over the last couple of events ever since the winter break. Teams and drivers that have perhaps struggled in the first part of the season really coming to the front now. But as you can see here, Scott Sandover down the inside of Mills. As it has so often been the case, the Alfa Romeo has just been that little bit better than the Honda around these racetracks, and you can see Sandover wheel to wheel still having to work for it. Mills not giving up anytime soon, but the Alfa Romeo, you have to feel, just has the pace advantage, and he gets the move done into second position. Scott Sandover, the CEO of P2, looking for his first win here today. As we look back down to Carlo Durante, another Alfa Romeo trying to make moves. Daniel Solon right up behind him. Ahead of him, it's Adrian Tisci. Tisci is on the hard tyres for this race. A top 10 would be impeccable stuff for the Toyota driver on those hard tyres. He has softs to race through. If he can hold on to a 9th or 10th place, that would allow him to be in the reverse grid and have a great chance at victory. But Durante powering around the outside here, trying to fight hard as they go through the right-hander. Tisci gonna try and hold on. As you see there, Solon switching to the inside. Could well knock Tisci out of the top 10, and he does. Tisci, heartbreak on the last lap here. Whilst it may only be for a 10th position, it could well have been crucial for his chances at a race-free victory here. And speaking of victory, it's looking like it's going to be Alfa Romeo once more here. The team that have been revived since the winter break are continuing to thrive here, and this time in Belgium they're looking for a 1-2 here in race 2, and as Dylan Varstenberg makes his way through the final chicane for the final time, Dylan Varstenberg is going to win race 2 here in Belgium. The Dutchman takes victory here, the closest to a home race he has. Behind him it's Scott Sandover in second place, and Jonathan Mills comes up in third place. Back-to-back P3s for the Honda driver. Double podium, not too bad for him at all. As we do see Tyler Davison there, who had to really work to try and get this position, had to charge his way through the field, gets up into fourth place, so it's not a wasted soft tyre for him. Whilst he may have hoped for a podium, in the end that wasn't quite possible for him, with the top 3 just being too far ahead as he makes his way through the final chicane here. Toyota were the dominant force for the first part of the season, less so now, but still very much one of the main contenders here, and a fourth place for Davison just reminds people of that fact. Toyota still lead the Manufacturers' Championship, and they are still fighting as hard as they can for the Drivers' Championship 2 as Ford come across the line with Matt Pulio, the American, ahead of the other American of Jordan Fingal, both drivers with softs to race free. Same goes for Albert Asante in 7th place, Andre Jamil in 8th position. Carlo Durante is going to take P9 there for Alfa Romeo. P10 goes to Daniel Solon, he'll be on pole for race 3. Then it's Adrian Tisci, Preston Brennan, Adam Lee, Adam Richardson and Ben Driscoll rounding out the points paying positions for race 2. Here we have our official results then for race 2 in Belgium. It's Dylan Varstenberg who wins, the Dutchman for Alfa Romeo, leading an Alfa Romeo 1-2. Jonathan Mills takes back-to-back third positions there as Tyler Davison comes home in 4th position. Matt Pulio is in 5th place, just ahead of the other American driver of Jordan Fingal there. Albert Asante comes home in 7th and will be top soft runner on the grid for race 3, with Andre Jamil in 8th position. In 9th place, we have Carlo Durante just getting that position on the last lap of the race. Daniel Solon takes that reverse grid pole position away from Adrian Tisci, another move that happened on the last lap there. Preston Brennan came across the line in 12th place with Adam Liu. Top Adam for that race. He comes home in 13th place. 14th place goes to Richardson, and the final point goes to Ben Driscoll, with the 4 drivers outside the points being Lewis Francis, Liam Jones, Kieran Kevern and Vishay Shah. So let's have a look at the Grid 4 race 3 here today at the back of the field, and the championship. It's Vishay Shah lining up in 19th place on the hard compound tyres. Then it is Kieran Kevern and Liam Jones both on softs. The same goes for Lewis Francis just ahead of them. Ahead of them, though, it is Ben Driscoll on the medium compound tyres, with Adam Richardson, one of the many drivers in race 3, on the hard compound tyre. Adam Lee also on the hard tyres, so again we could see an Adam versus Adam battle. Preston Brennan, another driver on the hard tyres for this race. But then we see Adrian Tisci, who is on the soft compound tyre. Ahead of him, Dylan Farstenberg, who is on the hard tyre, as well as Scott Sandover, who is on the medium tyre. Jonathan Mills on the hard tyre. Tyler Davison is on the medium compound tyre. Just ahead of him, though, you've got Matt Pulio, though, on soft compound tyres. The same goes for Jordan Fingal, and also for the car ahead of them, Albert Asante. So they could be your 3 favourites for the win here. Andre Jamil just ahead of them, with our front row being made up of Carlo Durante in 2nd place. And on pole position for race 3, it is Daniel Solon in the Mitsubishi. He lines up on pole position for this one, but on the hard compound tyres, it's going to be tough to keep hold of that race lead. And we are racing for the final time today in Belgium, and it's a solid start from Solon considering his tyres. Look at that though, it's Jordan Fingal firing his car through the middle of the pack, around the outside of the first turn. Fingal trying to take the lead here, and it looks like he might just do that. The power on exit is enough. The BMW will lead us down towards Eau Rouge here, but Solon is right up behind him and looking to try and find a way back into the lead of the race. It's going to be hard though with the tyres that he's on as they head down towards Eau Rouge. Solon's having a little bit of a look, but he backs out of it. Perhaps rightly so there, as we see Carlo Durante right on their tail. Albert Asante, next top car on these soft tyres behind Jordan Fingal. He's trying to see a chance to try and get 2 positions here with those 2 drivers ahead of him, knowing that they're on medium and hard tyres respectively. But Solon fighting as hard as he can here is behind them. You see Albert Asante trying to make that move on Durante. Durante not quite able to stay with Solon down the straight though. Solon with a good run up the hill, as you can see Asante's looking for the move as they head to Lake Om, but look at that, late on the brakes is Carlo Durante. The daring Durante in the Alfa Romeo is going to try to fire his Alfa Romeo up the position, not quite able to do it though. Solon holding on, that could open the door for Asante, who's looking for the inside, fires it over the inside curb, not able to do it though, as he's now coming to pressure from Andre Jamil on the hard compound tyres, which shows you how slow this group are going at the moment, as you see Asante trying to finally get that move done. He moves the San Marino driver out of the way. He gets down the inside, and Albert Asante up in to 3rd position, and now immediately pressuring the back of Solon here. Asante can see his chances of victory up the road ahead of him, as that's a massive slide. Andre Jamil, how on earth did he hold on to that one? Lots of drivers sliding their way down the hill, just like we saw earlier on today in race 1. Brilliant stuff, this time in the dry though, it has to be said. These guys just shows you how hard they're pushing their cars, as Daniel Solon just still holding on to that 2nd position. Matt Pulio in 5th place, looking to try and get up into 4th. Matt Pulio, the 3rd highest driver in this race on the soft compound tyres, but he's got Adrian Tisci also on the softs, also right with him there, as we see them making their way through the middle part of the lap now. Behind the back of them, you can see there, that's Carlo Durante still fighting on. This guy does not give up. He's still side by side banging doors with Adrian Tisci there. Matt Pulio's ahead of though, and then Adrian Tisci up in to the 5th position as they dive in to the next corner. Solon though, very much the cork in the bottle here at the early stages of the races. Carlo Durante dropping back a little bit. Will be a bit frustrated though, because he knows he's got the pace to be quicker than Daniel Solon, who's still in 2nd place. Perhaps that's why Durante is so desperate to hold on to these positions. As you see behind him now, Lewis Francis on the soft compound tyres, who he'll be trying to make some positions as well here. Pulio now looking to try and make something happen as they head down towards Blanchimont here for the first time in race 3. Not quite able to do anything there. As you can see, that's Tisci though, who's making a very bold move down the inside of Blanchimont. That's incredible stuff from the Canadian driver as they head down towards the bus stop chicane. You can see there, that is Asante trying to finally get his way past the Mitsubishi, as Pulio tries to fire himself back up ahead of Adrian Tisci as they make their way through the bus stop chicane. And out of there now, you can see Asante finally has got up into 2nd position. It's taken him a lap to do it, but he's finally done it. And just like that, Matt Pulio drives past past like it's nothing. That's the frustrating part of this series of racing, is you can spend so long fighting so hard to get a position, using all the grip and energy you have, just for another driver to then take advantage of all that work you've done and fire past him as well there. So that's the pros and cons of the situation that these drivers are in on soft tyres for race 3. It does often mean that you have some overtaking to do, which is easier said than done more often than not, as Jordan Fingal does still lead the way, but Albert Asante up into second position now is going to be trying to reel that gap in and try and stop Jordan Fingal from doing something that many thought could not be done. Jordan Fingal looking for 2 wins in one event here. You need rain to really be able to do it. It's the only possible way it can happen. And, well, thankfully for Jordan, he has had rain. Good grid position, and you can see he's got a chance here at making history. As we see a battle here, 3 wide as they head towards Lake Holm. 2 Toyotas and a Mitsubishi. Kieran Kevin backs out, and there you can see Adrian Tishy gets the move done. Solon now, much like we saw Durante, dropping through the field. Once you lose one position, you just can't fight anymore. And there, Lewis Francis, who it's worth saying qualified for race 1, 19th position and last, up into 6th position here in race 3. And whilst it's not perhaps the star result that he's had previous events so far this season, as only driver with 3 wins, it's still a solid drive for a driver who will have his eyes set on that championship. As I say that, no commentator's curse, Lewis Francis, Kieran Kevin both into the pit lane. And that is heartbreaking for those 2 drivers there. 2 drivers who had charged their way through the field. Kevin qualified 16th, was second by the end of race 1, and has really hung around the top 10 all day since. And it's all gone a little bit wrong there for them, as both of them into the pits, and that is their chance at a big point scoring day over. As we look further down the field, we can see Tyler Davison battling away now with Liam Jones. Liam Jones on the soft tyres, Tyler Davison is on the mediums, so we'll have a disadvantage here, and you can see that is why he has lost his position, as it's now Liam Jones looking to try and make a move here on Andre Jamil as they head down towards Eau Rouge. You'd have to be very brave to pull this one off. Andre Jamil, though, will just fight him off at the moment. The Brazilian knows a thing or two about racing, and he will hold on to that position there. Liam Jones trying as hard as he can to get past. He's going to have to try and carry some momentum off the top of the hill, down the Kemmel Straight, and it looks like he's done just that as he heads now down towards the Lake Holm chicane. You can see the Mitsubishi looking a little bit better on the straight line speed, which is something to be said. The Alfa Romeo is one of its strong suits, is its top speed there. As you see, just up the road, you can see finally Carlo Durante is getting that move done on Daniel Solon, or is he, as Solon keeps his nose in it? These two have fought so hard in this race so far, and there you go, Durante has finally got his way up into that 5th position, which is a remarkable position considering the amount of drivers that were on soft tyres for this race, although we've already seen 2 of them face issues in this race, so perhaps that is a bit of luck for Carlo Durante, but you've got to be there to take advantage of it. And now you can see Liam Jones trying to go all the way around the outside of his teammate there. Soft tyres versus hard tyres. Of course, the softs are going to have an advantage, but you still, to put a bit of flair on it like that is always welcome. There's another slide from Andre Jamil out of there. It's routine at this point, to be honest, from him. Andre Jamil really showing us how it's done around here. It may not be the quickest way around the racetrack, but it certainly looks the nicest, I have to say, as we see Adam Richardson there on the back of Jonathan Mills. Scott Sanover in 10th position there, just behind Tyler Davison, as they make their way through this next part of the lap. You can see Liam Jones already pressuring the back of Durante, and Durante, after working so hard to get himself up into that 5th position, it looks like he may well lose it very soon, as Liam Jones is already on the back bumper of him, and with those soft tyres, he will have a pace advantage now. We saw Kieran Kevin and Lewis Francis coming into the pits not that long ago. Let's see what has happened to the pair of them. What meant that they had to pit here as they go into turn 1. It's a replay. Lewis Francis just drives into the back of Kevin. It's the common occurrence that we have seen several times, sadly, but it's easily done, and that is where these drivers pick up the damage. And that can be race ruiners and potentially event ruiners and even season ruiners there, as we see. That is Liam Jones making a forceful move on Carlo Durante, getting up a position. Jones likes that corner for a little overtake. That's the second move we've seen, at least, him make there at that corner in this race alone. So Liam Jones doing a very nice job here. As we look back towards the front, Albert Asante has done all he can to reel in the race leader, but the BMW of Jordan Fingal has looked unbeatable at times. This has been his event. And wow, what a way this could be to put yourself in the history books of Global TC. He is coming through the bus stop chicane for the final time here today. And in race 3, we're going to see something that has never happened before. Out of the final corner for the final time, Jordan Fingal is going to take his 2nd win in the event. Race 1 winner, race 3 winner, Jordan Fingal, history maker, wins race 3 here in Global TC at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. As in third place, you can see there, Matt Pulio joined by Albert Asante in second. Again, it's a fourth place Toyota, and again, it's a very white Toyota. This time, though, it is Adrian Tisci who will take that fourth place home for the Toyota team, as again they have another solid event. As just behind him then it is Liam Jones, the next driver on the soft compound tyres, bring his Mitsubishi across the line there in 5th position, top 5 result. Not bad considering all the drama that we've seen across this event so far. Behind him though, Carlo Durante, 6th place. We saw how hard he had to fight for that one, and he does very much deserve it with some of the battles he's had to go through. Comes across the line in 6th position. Just behind him it's his teammate Andre Jamil, and then Daniel Solon and Tyler Davison in 9th. Lewis Francis and Kieran Kevin have recovered to 10th and 11th. Ben Driscoll is in 12th position. Adam Richardson in 13th. Dylan Farstenberg in 14th. And the final points paying position, quite a way back we have to look to find him, Scott Sandover, as he heads towards the final couple of corners here. He will take 15th place and 1 solitary point, but it's better than nothing there. As you see, Jonathan Mills was trying to reel him in at the end there, couldn't quite do it. Scott Sandover will take 15th place in race 3, the final race of the day here in Belgium. So there we have our official results for race 3 here. Jordan Fingal with a remarkable feat there, taking victory in 2 out of 3 races here, and is one of 2 drivers this season now to have 3 wins to their name. Albert Asante in second there, just ahead of Matt Pulio. Asante is the new championship leader now. Adrian Tisci in 4th place ahead of Liam Jones and Carlo Durante, with Andre Jamil and Daniel Solon rounding out the top 8 positions. Tyler Davison is in 9th place there ahead of Lewis Francis, with Kieran Kevin in 11th. Ben Driscoll is in 12th position. Adam Richardson is in 13th ahead of Dylan Varstenberg and Scott Sandover, as we said, taking home the final point paying position for race 3. Jonathan Mills, of course, with those 2 podiums in race 1 and 2. Race 3 inevitably, sadly, wasn't quite able to go the way he would have wanted it to. The same can be said for Preston Brennan and Vishay Shah, as well as Adam Liu. Drivers that just did not have the best of days there, but Jonathan Mills, thankfully for him, at least he's got those 2 podiums to look back on. So that is it for our racing here in Belgium. I do hope you've enjoyed it. We've been having a week off before the next event, which will take place in Croatia at the Dragon Trail circuit. The Gardens layout to be specific, so I do hope you're all looking forward to that one. Got a week off next week, but then we'll be back racing once more, so hopefully I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.